The Ford Panther Platform Lincoln Town Cars produced from 1981 to 2011 are some of the most recognizable and cherished Lincolns by their owners in all-time history. Though the Town Car name was used on many different Lincolns dating back to the 1959 Continental Mark IV Town Car formal sedan, the Panther Platform cars are really the ones that stand out in people's minds as the true town cars. When introduced in 1981, the Panther Platform Town Car was actually slotted beneath the Mark VI in Lincoln's lineup, and it was introduced as both a 2- and 4-door sedan. The 2-door was discontinued for 1982 due to lack of interest. First-generation Panther Platform Town Cars were produced from the 1981 to 1989 model years, all rode atop 117.3-inch wheelbase, were 219.2 inches in length, and had a curb weight of around 4,000 pounds and were powered by Ford's 302 cubic inch V8, and outfitted behind that V8 was the 4-speed AOD automatic transmission. Interestingly, the Town Car would represent a divergence in philosophies as well as capital budgets between Ford and General Motors during this time, as in 1985, GM would shift the majority of Cadillac production to front-wheel drive with the introduction of the new DeVille, and in 1986 with the introduction of the new Seville and Eldorado. Ford at the time simply didn't have the capital budgets to redo Lincoln's lineup and kept the Town Car. It proved to be a fruitful choice as Ford continued to sell about 120,000 of these Town Cars a year, even after General Motors introduced the smaller downsized Cadillac in the 1985 model year. And Lincoln played up on the fact that many GM cars of the era had styling patterned off of the highly successful 1976 to 79 Seville to the point where they were all pretty much look-alike vehicles, at least inside profile. Let's take a look at this Lincoln ad from the late 80s that plays up on this theme.
The black Cadillac, please. Right away, sir.
Excuse me, I believe that's my Buick.
Yes, so it is.
Today, it's not easy to distinguish yourself from the crowd.
Is this my Cadillac?
No, it's an Oldsmobile. I think.
Yeah. This is the Buick. No.
This is the Buick.
No. This is the Cadillac.
The Lincoln Town Car, please. Yes, sir.
Lincoln builds luxury automobiles with uncompromised individuality. So whether you choose the spaciousness and comfort of the Lincoln Town Car, the style, sophistication, and grace of the Lincoln Continental, or the driving exhilaration of the Lincoln Mark VII, you'll have the satisfaction of knowing that there's nothing like a Lincoln.
No one will ever believe this.
Lincoln, what a luxury car should be.
Now, if you're a frequent viewer of the channel, you'll know Tony Lawler of Tony's Car Care in Vandalia, Illinois. Check out his YouTube channel, Tony's Car Care. He stopped by to fix the window on my 1974 Marquis, typical theme of those Fords of the era, and brought along his 1989 Town Car. And you can see it here. It's a beautiful specimen, finished in white exterior with red leather, and it's a signature series. Very distinctive car, and certainly a great one for taking long road trips, which he did in driving from Vandalia, Illinois, up to the Metro Detroit area. In full comfort, I would say. Thankfully, in between changing out window motors, we had a chance to drive his Lincoln Town Car and talk a little bit about it. I have to say, of all the cars of the 1980s, these certainly were some of the most reliable and comfortable, although the styling isn't exactly what grabs me, admittedly, on these. It's a bit too boxy for my taste, with the half-vinyl roof and the rear quarter glass. It's a bit dated, shall we say. I actually prefer the looks of the Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham over the Town Cars. However, I will say that the Town Cars, in my opinion, ride much better than the Cadillac Fleetwood Broughams, and they also have far less rattles and seem to be made of much higher quality. You can even see the nice Lincoln etched logo there on the glass, and of course the Opera light. This car also has a moonroof, so a very rare option on this car. There's another shot of the Opera light, and it has the mini vent windows in the front doors that lower before the rest of the glass does. A really unique Ford feature was introduced in the early 1970s. Let's listen in as Tony and I talk about the car and also take it for a drive. Well, hello and welcome back again to Rare Classic Cars. And Tony Lawler is back here with his '89 Lincoln Town Car because I bought another classic Ford that needs window repair. So,
Yeah,
you know, the one bad thing about these Fords, right?
it is. I as bad as I hate to say it, it is.
But I guess if that's the worst that you can say about the classic vehicle, that's really not that bad.
Right. But it was GM that paid my bills in the 90s with the Aleros and the Intrigues and the Grand Ams with their power windows. So they all go through their
They're phases.
glitch eras, I guess, yeah.
At least these aren't bad
Right.
regulators like those were, which is
Right.
a more intensive repair.
Right.
You're just
This
taking
is
the motor
a
out.
lot less costly, yeah. Since, pennies compared to $100.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah. But I drove my Lincoln up here. I want Adam to experience the ride and quietness of '89 Lincoln Town Car.
So you're sure that this is going to be quieter here? I'm going to be just thrilled with the ride, huh?
Yes, and you're going to experience the mini vent windows and
With the fixed post too,
Yes.
mini vent.
Yes.
When did they do that? Because they always had the
80 was the first year.
80. Okay.
And I'm going to do a video on a '79 Mark V. If you go to my channel, Tony's Car Care, you can see where I did a cutout of one of these doors and showed how this regulator works. It's so simple and yet so complicated. It's just mind-blowing how someone came up with this little glass that went down first and the big one to follow.
It's perfect if you have a cigarette or something that you
Yeah,
wanna...
no one smokes anymore that I really know, but it's just neat if you watch that video and see how ingenious yet simple that design was to make that work. And I'm going to do a cutout on a '79 Mark V soon,
Oh, cool.
so they can see how those older ones like that work too.
So if you really want to see more technical details, how this works, how to repair windows on Ford products, how to install. Tony also sells, you can turn your classic Lincoln, Ford, Mercury into having remote keyless entry
Yeah,
too.
updating it to remote keyless entry, in most cases plug and play.
So
You don't have to cut a single original wire.
So Mr. Electronics here, imagine you get remote keyless entry on your '75 Mark IV or whatever it is.
But believe it or not, I haven't done it on this one.
Oh, well.
This car rarely gets driven. I don't even like driving it up here.
But you did.
Yes.
So we'll take it for a ride.
Yeah, we will. I want Adam to experience it, so we're going to take a little ride.
It's not as nice looking as a GM car, but I'll get in it.
Okay, Adam.
Right,
It gets a lot of looks and thumbs up. On the between Illinois and Michigan, it gets a lot of thumbs ups.
I do. It's kind of the last of the historical styling cue, the vinyl roof, the opera window. This is a signature series too.
Yeah, this was the signature series. They had the base, then the signature series, and then the Cartier was the best. But I don't really have a problem with this one.
Well, very cool. Well, let's go experience it and see how
let's
this
go
rides
check
and
it out.
drives.
Check
All
it out
right.
and see what you think.
Sounds good.
See you in the car.
All right, so here we are in Tony Lawler's '89 Lincoln Town Car. He insisted that I have to try this out and compare it to, as viewers of my channel know, I love the big Fords of the era, and this is big but smaller. And I have to say, the ride on this, we're going over a road that's not so great, is extremely pleasant. I think in terms of the ride quality, the overall impact harshness and the suspension setup on this car is, excellent. And I've driven Fleetwood Bromes of the era, the Cadillacs. They do not ride this well. I think the biggest improvement in this car over the huge full-size Fords is the steering. The steering gear, and this is infinitely better and much more tight. It almost feels like it's a rack and pinion setup, but it's not. It still doesn't have any road feel. Oh, it has some road feel. That's a lie. It actually does have some road feel. But the overall responsiveness off center is way, way better. And going down this road, this is just, it's great. And it has, you have to show Tony, it's got the mini vent, right? So, and that little window always goes down first. The mini vent window always goes down first on these. The handling on this is also better than the other Fords that I have, which are more nautical in their ride and don't really take a set in the corner well. You just...
Well, how much weight you reckon was shaved off?
This car's probably what, the high 3,000s, maybe 3,700 pounds, something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
And especially the mid 70s Fords with the big bumpers.
I've got it all in books. I've just never compared to even look.
I bet it's about 1,000 pounds less.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Because the mid 70s Fords, like my 74 Marquis that we're going to go work on, it's about 4,600 pounds. And, you know, the wagons, like my Colony Park, that thing's touching 5,000.
Yeah.
So just a lot more heft. And I think the great thing about this is the 5-liter under hood, about 150 horsepower. It's not as torquey as the big blocks. It does have more horsepower. It's got kind of more pep at the upper end. But it also gets, you know, Tony was telling me he got north of 25 miles per gallon driving this thing on the expressway here. So
I will also point out, though, getting that MPG that I get, I don't drive like most people. I set the cruise on 65 and just let everybody pass me because I get tired of shutting the cruise off. So it's a good steady 65 mile an hour. It takes me 9 hours to get up here no matter which way I go or how I drive, it seems like.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
But very pleasant car. You know, I think very pleasant. The steering is actually really, really good for the area.
It's really a tight, no play whatsoever.
It's almost like they overcorrected from the customer complaints of the 70s, and they went from having the worst, I would say, steering gear in the rear-wheel drive cars to the Cadillacs of the era. The steering gear, I can tell you, having driven those, is not this good. This is definitely better. So, and all the reach envelopes are great in this car. It's very easy to reach all the controls, even with the seat most of the way back. Got the wonderful, funky wheel that just tilts, no column, my favorite.
Adam doesn't like that, and I think it's so convenient. You just take that one hand.
It's just kind of awkward, you know, like, okay, drive like this. The column is still up at you at a 30-degree angle, but the wheel is tilted back. I don't know. It's a preference thing.
Yeah.
The only thing that
I don't like the newer columns where the whole thing moves up and down in the dash.
Oh, I like that.
Really?
I like that. But I do think that the only thing that lets this car down, the engine is buttery smooth, kind of similar to the C6 a little bit. The transmission is a little clunky, and they're all like that, the AOD, right, Tony? Is that what this is?
Yes.
But, I mean, it doesn't detract from the experience. So, and by the way, the GM front-wheel drive transmissions, the 440 T4s and things like that were worse. So,
you know, the transmission, even in my 86 Ford truck that you like so well, it shifts the same way.
I'd put up with it for that 86 Ford truck. Every car's got their little thing that is, you know, it's but this car has so much right if you're looking for a car to just make miles and sit back and cruise. And I mean, that's what this thing is for.
And people do ask big money for these cars, but do they bring it? No. Maybe to just that one right person, but
a few years ago,
you can still buy one reasonable.
Yeah. This would be a great classic, but very reliable. Multi-port fuel injection, good fuel mileage. But you kind of get the best of the old and the new school. You get great mileage, good reliability. You don't have a carburetor or anything like that. And you get the old school ride. So if you're looking for something that is going to give you that nice cushy ride and lull you to sleep, if you will, as you drive it, but be reliable, this is a great entry-level classic that you can keep and enjoy. No matter if you become a more prolific collector, you'll still enjoy driving this car.
Oh yeah, they are a pleasure to drive.
It is. Well, thanks, Tony, for letting me drive it, and thanks for riding along to the viewers.
Let's take a look back here.
Yeah, plenty of room.
The sun's awful bright, but you got your window, door lock, and seat controls on the front doors.
Well, thanks again, Tony.
Yep, thank you, Adam. Let's get to work on that Marquis. See you guys. Thanks for watching. I think Ford started this in '81.
Yep.
And it's still the same today, the same sequence, as long as you got your 5-digit code. 7890 push simultaneously locks everything. And I don't even care if you guys know my code.
Now put your code. Go put your code.
You can press any button. If it's really pitch black out and you can't see, you can press any button to light it up.
Okay.
And then you put in your 5-digit code.
Put it in, yeah.
Opens that always opens the driver's door within 5 seconds. Hit the 3-4 button, opens the other doors, and or hit the 5-6 to open the trunk.
Very cool.
So if you're just outside and your car's locked and you want to go through there real quick, hit your 5-digit code, hit the 5-6 button, open your trunk, and then you can just immediately hit the 7890 again, so it's locked again, and then come and get out of the trunk.
And you can close your trunk with a GM power pull down.
Yes, just click the trunk and it has the power trunk pull down.
Cool. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching this video on the 1989 Lincoln Town Car. Be sure to check out Tony Lawler's channel at Tony's Car Care on YouTube. And if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe. And check out the video thumbnails at bottom left and right for some suggestions for you. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, take care.